Okay, so hey guys, I just want to talk about this book a little bit, Anatomy of Spirit, and it's called The Anatomy of Spirit: 7 Stages of Power and Healing by Carolyn Miss. I believe she has a PhD as well. I just can't believe I can't remember what it is. Yeah, she has a PhD. And it doesn't say in what, but she does have a PhD. So she speaks about in this book, overview, real quick, snippet. She says, a new language in this of spirit, the 7 sacred truths. Those are like, she does like part 1 and part 2, just real simplistic like that. And in this part, it's called a new language of spirit. Excuse me, I am on that part. I am on the second principle for today. For some reason, I'm going to this. Personal power is necessary for health. So I'm going to read this. The first part, the first principle, let's give you that one first. This is it for energy and medicine, energy, medicine, and intuition. Consider the first principle, that biography becomes biology. And then together with the second principle, which is personal power is necessary for health. Power mediates between our external and internal worlds. And as so it does, it communicates in a language of myth and symbol. So consider the symbol of power and money. So she tells a little story. So I'm going to tell you something. You know what I noticed? I noticed that, like, you know, when I have money, okay, when I get paid from working like my teaching job, when I get paid from doing that off and on, because I don't do it all the time, when I get paid from doing that, when I get paid and I get money, I'm just like, I'm pretty happy. And I'm like, and I started noticing that I do have this thing where I associate money with power, because on this planet, that's all that's demonstrated to you. So you learn it, and you see it and you receive it. And I'm seeing that I have bought into that idea to some degree. But then I think about this: when I get paid from like doing a reading with somebody, or doing a photography job, when I get paid doing that, the feeling is different. And I want to say it in a sense like I have a sense of a much more greater accomplishment for some reason. I feel so grateful, beyond grateful. Not that I'm not grateful for the teaching, but I feel beyond grateful. And I actually noticed to be so is because when they're handing the money or they're passing the money to me, all I'm thinking is, you know what? Thank you so much. I'm so grateful that you acknowledge what has happened here, that there's been an even exchange of goods and services, but there has also been an even exchange of energies, giving and receiving. And I often shed a tear. And I think, like, how can I not be so grateful? How can I ever let this pass me by? How do I not see this? How do I pass it? Of that point of not being grateful and saying thank you when I'm receiving money, exchanging money. So I've been saying thank you a lot more. Thank you so much. And coming from a place of thinking so much, but from a standpoint of, you know what, thank you. Just a thank you. Because sometimes, you're still on planet Earth, you know. Sometimes we need to be hearing thank you. Sometimes. And I'm not going to say sometimes. I'm going to say all the time. All the time. You should be, you know, remembering that and being grateful for that. So, and I want to tell you this. Growing up with my parents, you know, there's a pattern that has been set here. So you got to be able to recognize the patterns of this, you know, this power and money and your health and stuff like that. So this is just one connection. In the book, she talks about it as well. She gives a story of a male who was making billions and billions of dollars in his company, and then his company crashes. When he had the money, he was high stats, his health was better, everything was going well, and he was just on his game. But then the stock market crashed. Guess what happened to him? His health went down. He had emotional problems. He just went all the way to shots to hell on his health because he had invested so much in that money, having that money, giving him the power. And he didn't realize or didn't see that money does not do that. Money has no bearing on any of that. You're the bearer. You're the power. So you got to remember this part. You're the power. You're the power to the money. And that's what she talks about. You being the power, not about the money being the power. So inadvertently, we're giving our power to the money and not realizing that we're the power. The money isn't the power. The money doesn't do any of that. It gives you comfort and it gives you security, but it doesn't do what you think it does. So learning symbolic language, learning symbols that are making you feel a certain way, when they're giving you this false sense of security, you got to understand here that false sense of security. You got to unlearn that pattern for sure, because it could be your downfall, Can't be, and she says it on page 47 in the book. You need to become conscious of what gives you power. So isn't that a knock on the door? Healing from any illness is facilitated by identifying your power symbols and your symbolic and physical relationship to those symbols, and heeding any messages your body and intuitions are sending you about them. So let me say that again. Healing from any illness is facilitated by identifying your power symbols and your symbolic and physical relationships to those symbols, and looking at any messages your body or your intuition is sending you about those messages and about those symbols. So, in saying that, I guess I'm up on my game here, because I have definitely been challenged in that area. As a kid, we didn't have a lot of money. And, I would say this, they had money. My parents always had money. But I actually see now how we lived in poverty, and and I ain't talking about because we living in the ghetto or what. It's not about that, because we didn't live in the ghetto. We lived on army bases. So these places were not poor places. But my parents' thoughts about money were poor. And those patterns of poorness are displayed throughout my life. And so I have had to unlearn those patterns and be comfortable in the thought of, am I really going to let this money make me? Or am I going to make the money and use it for what it needs to? Money flows in and out. As above, so it is below. One of the divine magic Hermetic principles from Doreen Virtue's book, Divine Magic. Make the money. Don't let the money make you. So you got to shake your money maker. And your money maker is inside of you, your spirit. Your spirit is your money maker. Not what you actually believe is your money maker, is your money maker. And I'm not just talking about money. So you got to understand what I'm talking about here. So I'll speak a little bit in code. This is a little bit of coding here now. Understand where your truth lies. And if you don't like it and you see it's taking you down the wrong path, Change it. Change it, people. Because you're going to be better for it. And I can tell you this, me and my sister were talking about this. We were talking about how we have seen the patterns in our lives. And one of our siblings, like, she literally was just saying, like, don't our siblings see that those patterns of poverty were instilled of us so deep? And we got to get rid of that.